What about, I'll check which Wi-Fi I'm connected to.
Give me a second.
I might be connected to the other one.
Yes, definitely true. Welcome back, everybody. We are doing a whole bunch of live side splits and head mobility stuff. But first, I'm going to reconnect with the Wi-Fi to see if that helps speed things up. Let's go. And boom. Okay, that's it. That's working now. And a whole bunch of things are moving on. Whoa, I think the app just got an update. It looks very different. Okay. And where's the chat? Oh, there we go. Boom. It just took a second to get started. That's crazy. TikTok just put the notification. We're notifying viewers that you're live. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more not suffering-ish. All right, let's go ahead and get started. My hair is sticking straight up because it's the morning, and I just woke up. And coffee was the first priority. My appearance was way somewhere else. Let's begin with some warm up. I'm a little bit chilly, so this is perfect. We got hip cars, all right? If you're joining in for the first time, hip cars look like this. We're lifting our knee as high as we can, directly in front. If you think you've lifted it high enough, lift some more. Maybe pull on it a little bit, see if you can keep holding it up once you've lifted it there, all right? That is step one. Next, we're going to open up that leg to this side. We're going to try and hold up that weight right there, as high as you can, as wide open as you can. Try to keep the hips in the same spot. They're not going, wee, and then you're starting to spin around. That's too much.
Can you connect to the right Wi-Fi?
I am connected to the right Wi-Fi. It's the really slow stuff. Is the audio coming in right?
It was lagging a bit right now.
Okay. Well, hopefully it's going to stop lagging. We're going to open up that to the side as wide as we can. Then we're going to rotate the ankle up. Then we're going to rotate up. Some more. We're going to keep rotating, trying to bring that ankle up as high as we can. Then we're going to bring the leg down and back. When we bring the leg down and back, we want to look a little bit like this. I want you to flex the hamstring, I want you to flex the glutes. I want you to feel the stretch right here in the hip flexor. And that is one rep. I'm a little bit out of breath already, maybe because I talked too much. We have 10 reps to do on the left side, 10 reps on the right side. Then we'll reverse the whole thing. 10 more laps, 10 more reps. And it's time for you. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one high knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two high knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's three high knee. Open. Ankle up.
YouTube earbuds not connected.
Down and back. I'm being told the YouTube earbud is not connected. My stuff says it is connected. Weird. Okay, continue. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Open. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. I'll fix it. High knee. Open. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Nice one. Down and back. Okay. Rest your legs. I gotta figure out some technical difficulties for some reason. The YouTube audio seems to be a little bit poor. So this is telling me the Bluetooth earbud is connected. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. Turn it off. Turn it back on again. That's how you fix everything, right? Turned off. Turned on. Please connect. Oh, I know why it's not connected.
Oh,
it's because it has not been in my ear. Duh. Ugh. I'm a dummy. The earbud was never in my face. I was wearing the same set the whole time. Boom. All right. There we go. We're back. All right. Hopefully, Don't make any other silly mistakes. Let's continue. We're going to get into hip curls for the other side. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. The dogs are going absolutely wild outside my door right now. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 2 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 3 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 4 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 5 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 7 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Woo! That is our hip guys. If that felt a little bit fast, don't worry, we'll slow it down for the important ones. That's just a warm-up for a warm-up. When we go in reverse, there'll be more. We're going to move right on into part 2. We're going to reverse these so that it looks a little bit like this. We're bringing the leg down and back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, and we got to double down on making sure we don't do this. That we don't get into a situation where we're putting a whole bunch of arch in this low back. Because we got to do 10 reps on each leg, so we got 20 reps of these. If your back is getting a little uncomfortable because you're making it work really hard bending right now, that's a no-no. Don't do that. 2 ways to prevent it. 1, stop trying to bring your legs so far back. Just focus on the hamstrings and the glutes and the stretch right here in the front of the hip. Part 2, keep your core nice and tight. That will protect you from being able to do this and put that pressure in your back. All right, let's continue. Arms up for a little bit of balance support, and let's begin. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 1. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2. I'll do the rest facing you. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 3. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 4. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 5. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 6. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 7. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 8. 2 more. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 9. Oh, 1 more. Let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 10. Oh, I was losing balance by the end. My legs didn't want to keep working. This ankle was tired. Whew. All right, shake it up. Do a little dance. Do a little wiggle. Work those hips. We've been training mobility. Now put them to work. And let's get ready to finish up. 1 last leg. Whew. Stand up nice and straight. Hold on to the wall for balance if you need it. And stand up. Hold that core nice and tight. Let's go. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 1. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 5. Did I say 5 already? That's 6. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 8. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 9. 1 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. 10. That is our hip cars. We just did 10 reps forward, 10 reps back on each leg. Hopefully your legs are feeling a little bit looser. And we're going to move right on into our second warm-up exercise. Whew. We're going to do next looks a little bit like this. We're going to fold at the hips. We're trying to bring our belly button down to the ground. We're going to go, ooh. If you have tight hamstrings and you get stuck a little bit higher up, absolutely fine. If you are a little bit more flexible. You're folding a little bit more forward. Awesome. From here, let your back relax. Breathe. Let your body drape. Breathe. And chill for a little bit. All right? If you have a little back tightness, like most of us do, just give it a second to chill out, and we're going to move on into our next thing. As you're chilling here, you might notice your hamstrings are starting to tighten up, starting to feel more of a stretch, starting to feel a little less comfortable, and that is a good sign we're ready to start moving. We're going to bend one knee, we're going to straighten out the other leg, we're going to fold our belly button down towards the ground. From this position, we're going to keep on switching the legs that's bent and switching the leg that's straight. We're going to keep on doing this thing that looks kind of like we're pretending to walk. All right, this is the elephant walk. Keep going. Do a couple of these. Keep on trying to bring your belly button down to the ground. And breathe. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings? Occasionally, you might be feeling a little bit of a stretch right here in the butt, and that is probably because your hamstrings become tendons, and then the tendons connect into the bottom of your pelvis. When you're folded over like this, the bottom of your pelvis, instead of being down here, ends up being where your butt is. All right. Keep going. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, that is our elephant walk. Hop into a bit of a squat, come back up into standing, do a little wiggle, do a little shake, and we're going to get into the third warm-up exercise. Third warm-up exercise is thoracic rotation. It's getting a little bit of movement for your spine, some rotation, some twisting, and the thoracic spine is designed to move real well. We don't move as much as that spine is capable of, and we start losing some mobility most of the time. But we're going to do some rotations and hopefully get a little bit, get one axis of movement back. Cool? All right, what we're going to do is bend one leg, straighten out the other, bend one arm, put it on the straightened leg, push against that shin, and we're going to fold our belly button down to the ground. Then we're going to push and open. Oof. Extend your other arm into the air. Whew. Reach up, rotate your neck to look at that hand, and try to reach that arm back behind you over your shoulder. Take a little bit of a breath, and exhale. On that exhale, try to reach a little further back. Whew. That is half of a rep. We gotta do the other side. This leg is bent. This leg is straight. This bent arm is on the straight leg, pushing against it to help open up your chest while you fold. Breathe. Whew. As you breathe, reach a little bit further. And that is one rep. I talk fast. That does not mean you have to move fast. Take your time with the stretch. Chill, breathe, reach as much as you want. All right? Let's continue. We got 4 more. We're doing 5 total. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Reach. Open, 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 open. Breathe. On that exhale, reach a little further. Man, the second rep was way better than the first one. The first one, I was like stuck. Open, 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 open. That is 2. Again, bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open. Breathe. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. When we reach up into the air, I want your neck to be rotating to look at the hand that's extended up into the air. Breathe. Reach. Exhale. Reach. That is 3 reps. We got 2 more. If at any time feeling like you need to take a break, feel free to do so. And when you're ready, let's get back into it. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open, 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 open. Breathe. Reach. Other side. That's 4. One last one. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open, 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 open. The neck is looking at the hand, or sorry, the head is looking at the hand, neck is rotated. Exhale. Whew. Last one. And that is 5 reps. Hopefully, your spine is feeling a little bit looser. Some of those muscles that you never use might be a little tired. That is okay. Give it a couple seconds. Once they cool down, maybe cool off, they'll feel a little bit looser. All right, let's continue. Oh, we are moving on to our fourth and final warm-up exercise. It looks a little bit like this. We're doing something called the Cossack switch. You don't have to join in right now. I'm gonna demonstrate. Cossack switch starts like this, with our legs down in a deep squat on one side, and a split basically on the other side. We're gonna scoot our butts over, then we're gonna come back. Boom. This is going to be a little bit challenging for most people to get right into. Your ankles, your knees, your hips, probably not going to be ready for it. So let's prepare them. We are going to pop into a bit of a squat. We can do this together. Come into a bit of a squat like this. And if your heels come off the ground, that is absolutely okay. In fact, I recommend it. I want you to try your best to bring your chest to your knees. I want you to point your knees down towards the ground. Almost push them towards your toes. That way you get a nice Achilles tendon stretch, you get a nice calf stretch while you're hanging out here. All right? Chill, breathe, relax. We're trying to get our joints used to the range of motion that we're about to put them through and do all those fancy moves in. And when you're feeling comfortable here, it's time to step it up. What I want you to try to do is add a little bit of gentle movement. All right? Maybe you want to push one knee forward. Maybe you want to push the other knee forward, pull the other leg back, keep on going, switch. Pretend you're like a choo-choo train. You're chugga, 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 chugga. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up as I go. You can open up one leg to the side, one leg to the other side. You can open up both legs. Just a little gentle movement where you can work on that ankle stability, ankle mobility. And once done a couple of those, we're ready to start our Cossack switches. All right? What I want you to do is stick your hands straight down into the ground, and then take one leg, stick it off to the side for a little bit of support, and boom, plant this heel down on the ground. This is important because having your foot down is going to help you stay stable, and we want stability because we're going to start moving around all over the place, and we want you to be feeling comfortable about what you're doing. All right? Next, I want you to get as low as you can on this leg. If you can only get this low, it's absolutely fine. It's part of the process. If you can get a little bit deeper, or a little bit deeper, or even deeper, feel free to get as deep as you can. Once you figure out your max depth, we're trying to scoot our butts over to the other side. All right? Putting our hands down, scooting, 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 and we're over on the other side. Breathe. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into that stretch, and then come on back. That is 1 rep. We're doing 10 of these in total, so let's keep going. Put your hands down, help walk your body weight over to the other side. Breathe. Try to sink a little bit deeper, and come on back. That's 2. Keep going. If you don't want to use your hands for support, or you want to try and do them without, feel free to do so. That's 3. Oh, and 4. And no, sorry, that's still 3. This is 4. 4. If you need to change it up because you're feeling a little bit of pressure in the inside of your knees, feel free to come up a little bit out of that squat, come across next, then sink into your stretch while you breathe. All right? And then up, and across, and then drop. That will make it so that the in-between positions right here are a little less stressful, straining on your knee, and you can keep going. Up, across, down, up, across, down. I believe this is 6 or 7. I've lost track. Switching back and forth from things. Next, if you want, you can have some fun with it. Do some full squats. Come fully into a standing position. Sit down, up, and down. I think there's 8. Oh, 9. And finally, last one. Scoot your butt over. Whee! And back. That's 10. Those are our Cossack switches. Plus the Cossack squat, plus some Cossack slidey looking things, and we are done with our warm up. There's a bunch of long looking comments, so I'm going to take a look real quick because I have noticed that we are. Oh, that I am. Whoa, what's going on? I have noticed that I stopped seeing some comments that are a little bit older recently, and I'm gonna take a look before they disappear this time. Renee says, started late and can't keep up, but I'm definitely moving. Love your energy. Renee, that's awesome. Thank you for letting me know. And thank you for sharing the good vibes. I appreciate that. All right. Yes, definitely do your best. And I'll try to slow things down a little bit for you. All right. I think I saw another super long comment coming earlier, so I'm gonna scroll real quick and see if there's anything I need to respond to. There it is. Apple user says, this is a great way to wake up. I've never seen this before. I'm following along. It feels good. Amazing. Awesome. Okay. So it's all good, positive stuff. All right. Ugh. Let's get out of our warm up and get into our stretches. If you're just joining in for the first time and you're like, that was our warm up. Oh man. Okay. Whew, I'm ready. I can handle what's coming. This is a mobility and stretching show. All right. What we're doing next is 5 stretches. And this is a very hip focused, side split focused stretching show. So you don't have to actually want to do the side splits in order to get into something that resembles the side splits a little bit better, right? It's just wide legs, right? If you get really deep, yes, it might start looking like a side split, but it takes a long time to get there, and it's not going to happen overnight. So even if you don't necessarily care that much about your side splits, if you care about moving your hips a little bit better, this is the place for you. We do this live every single day at 9 p.m. usually. It's currently not 9 p.m. It's currently 9 a.m. That's because on the weekends we do a double live 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. and it's basically the same show. So if you prefer to start your day on the weekends, like Renee, like Apple user, feel free to keep coming back and keep coming back tomorrow. All right. Oh, where are we going with this? We're moving into our stretches. The first of our 5 stretches is a hamstring stretch. I don't know why I'm still holding this. Oh, come on up. Our hamstring stretch looks a little bit like this. We're going to drop down on one knee and we're going to extend one leg in front. We're going to fold our belly button down to the side like so. That's basically the stretch. What I recommend you do is grab a little bit of padding for this knee that's going to be down on the ground. It does not have to be fancy padding. If you have dirty laundry that needs to be in the wash but isn't quite there yet, roll it up, stick it under your knee. If you have a stuffed animal that your pet has ripped apart, roll it up, stick it under your knee. If you have old flip-flops, shoes you don't care about, you don't have to roll those up. You can just stick it right under your knee and we're good to go. All right. If you have actual stuff for padding your knee, like you garden and you have like a kneeling pad, perfect. Stick that. I mean, if it's not super dirty, stick that under your knee. Let's go. Bring both legs down onto your cushion if you have something big enough. All right. What I want you to notice is what your hips are doing. I want them to be aligned. I want them to be nice and straight, as if you're just standing up. All right. The only thing that's bent is your legs. I don't want a whole bunch of twisting right now. So focus on that. Next, we're going to stick one leg out in front to help, or to get stretched, to help with our stretch, to get stretched. And you can go ahead and do that first. If your line is too narrow, aka your leg is too straight in front of you, and you're like, oh, yeah, you're losing balance, feel free to widen your stance just a little bit so you have a little bit more width for stability. Whew. Losing my words today. All right. Fold, fold, fold. Bring your belly button down towards the ground. That's the whole stretch. This is it. This is the thing. Now, I'm going to try and get a little bit deeper. All right. I'm also going to spin around so you don't have to stare at the top of my head. You can see what my body is doing a little bit more clearly. From here, as you fold, your hamstrings are going to get nice and tight. We're going to just breathe. Inhale. exhale. Inhale, exhale, and take it nice and slow. Don't hyperventilate or anything crazy. Keep feeling lightheaded because you breathe too much too fast. Hold your breath for a little bit, and then continue. From here, we are ready to take it up to the next level. What we're going to do, I call it the inhale, exhale, fold. What I just told you to do is inhale and exhale. The only difference here is we're going to take a really big breath in. We're going to take a slow exhale and try to drag it out as long as possible while we fold our belly buttons down towards the ground. Okay? Let's go. Inhale, big breath. Exhale, nice and slow, and fold. The goal here is to fold our belly buttons down towards our legs. If you can't get that far, if you can't reach this, absolutely A-okay. Just do your best. Next, relax as much as you can. Just put a lot of tension into your hamstrings. Breathe normally. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Maybe that's not so normal. Exhale loudly, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to help your body to relax. All right, relax your toes, relax your feet, relax your calves, hamstrings. If those were relaxed, glutes, low back, just drape your body over that leg. Okay? One more breath. Maybe another one. And we're going to inhale, exhale, fold again. All right? Let's go. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. All right. Once you can't go any further, there's too much. Breathe. Breathe. Toes, feet, calves, hamstrings, glutes, low back, everything we're trying to relax. If right now you're feeling a whole bunch of pressure in the back of your neck, in your upper shoulders, in your mid back, you're probably trying to smash your face into your knees right now. That is too much. Don't do that. Don't smash your face into your knees. One, that will hurt if you ever get there. But also, we don't want to be doing that. The hamstring stretch comes from the angle of the hips. All right? And everything else, that's just you working way too hard. So if you focus on the belly button coming down towards that thigh, that is going to be all of the stretch. Everything else that you're doing is stretching out the neck, stretching out the upper back, stretching out some other things. And we don't need to be doing that much. We're working way too hard. We're trying to relax. We're not trying to stress out your neck. All right? So from here, I think we've been hanging out for long enough. I forgot to start counting. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. As the count goes on, I want you to keep breathing in, out. Try your best to relax. Try to drape your body over that leg. And I want you to breathe. 15, 14, 13, 12. If ever the stretch feels like it's way too intense, you can always come out of it a little bit. Come back up a little bit. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I realize I haven't said this in a little bit. I think I might have said it right at the very beginning, but this show is about practicing consistency. We show up every day at 9 p.m. and on weekends 9 a.m. to help support you and support me in practicing a little bit of consistency. We just finished that leg. Of course, I started talking as soon as it was time to switch. We're switching to the other side. Knees are down, hips are nice and straight and up, extending that leg out in front, folding the belly button down to that side. All right? Boom. From the side, it looks like this. One leg down, one knee straight down, one leg slightly in front, maybe a little bit wide if you need help with the balance, and we're folding the belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Feel it in your hamstrings, maybe a little bit in your calves, and let's continue. Where was I going with this? While you're here, inhale, exhale, breathe, try to relax into that stretch for the first couple of rounds. For that reason, because we're here to practice consistency, a lot of the things I care about are not you giving your 100% absolute best every single day. What I care about is you making sure that you are conscious and aware of what you're feeling so that you can decide, hey, this is a little bit too much today. I'm having a little bit of a sniffly nose. Can't tell if it's allergies, if I've caught a cold. I should probably sleep more, whatever it is, and I'll dial it back. Maybe today will be an 80% day. That is totally fine, and that's great. All right, we're here to show up consistently, not to give 100% consistently. Those are two different things. Cool? All right, where are we at? We're going to do the inhale, exhale, fold. I hope you remember how to do this. We're taking a big breath in. Inhale. We're going to exhale, and we're going to fold. Now we are deeper into that stretch. The hamstrings are going crazy a little bit, and we're going to try our best to just breathe. Inhale. I don't think I really have anything else to add to the consistency thing we were just talking about, so I guess we'll just move back into this stretch. Your hamstrings are probably going, hey, you sure you want to do this? Are you sure? Are you certain? And by hanging out here, you're basically telling the buddy, yes, I do. A lot of the time, when you get stuck in these positions, and if you touch your hamstrings, you're like, oh, that's tight. That is the stretch reflex. Your body is designed to stop you from getting into deep, crazy positions that it doesn't think is safe. And that is probably what you're feeling right now. Your body going, whoa, 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 what is this? All right, one more inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, and fold. We are deep into that stretch. Breathe, relax. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. We already talked about the neck and how that should be relaxed. Let's talk about the knee. If getting into this position is putting a lot of pressure on your knee, give that leg a slight bend. And then focus on bringing your belly button and your chest down to that leg. When you bend the knee, it takes a whole bunch of stress off the knee, but also reduces the intensity of that hamstring stretch. So you might be able to focus on bringing your chest all the way down to that leg first, and then straightening out your leg towards the end. That way, the stuff that causes knee strain for you comes at the end instead of throughout the whole entire time that you're doing it. All right? Your knee thing, however, might not just be a knee thing. It might be one of those things where you just rotate your legs slightly and your knee doesn't actually feel weird anymore. You should experiment. You should figure out which one it is. But you can always go with bend the knee a little bit, tug it to your chest, and then straighten it out later. Cool? All right. I think it's time to start counting. We've already done two of these, right? 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Keep on breathing, trying your best to relax. Drape your body over that leg. Again, bend the knee to take a little bit of stress off of the knee. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Remember, we're trying to fold the belly button down to the thigh. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Oh, come on out of your hamstring stretch. Oh, that is stretch number 1. I promise. The other ones aren't as long. We're going to move on into stretch number 2. It is the butterfly stretch. If your floors are slippery, I recommend you find something slightly different to sit on with a little bit more friction, all right? Because we don't want you sliding all over the place. But in general, what I want you to do is to sit up against a wall. And that is because this wall is going to help keep us nice and straight in our posture, nice and upright, and it's going to give us something to lean into when we get to a slightly more intense part of the stretch. All right. When your hips, your low back, your shoulders, your head are up against the wall, we're going to focus on bringing the feet together and pulling them in through your groin, getting into this position like so. From here, this is the butterfly setup. All right. We are trying to feel the stretch right here in the groin. That's the point of the butterfly stretch. The way we do that from here is by bringing the knees down into the ground. If you have some dumbbells or something real close, accessible, you can feel free to drop them on your knees and just chill like that. But for everybody else who's reliant on just a little bit of body weight, we're going to add some push. Okay? Next, before we push, I want you to experiment and figure out which muscles we're trying to use and which muscles help us get into the position that we want. I want you to try your best to use your outer thigh muscles. I want you to try your best to use your glutes. I want you to flex them, contract them, and see if you can slightly pull your knees down into the ground. Whew. When you do this, to tell if you're doing it right, all you have to do is see if your knees have moved slightly lower and if you're feeling more of a stretch here in the groin. It's possible you're using way too many muscles that are fighting you, and that's what you're feeling as well. But as long as you're using some of the right muscles to bring your knees down into the ground, you see a little bit of progress. That way you're doing the right thing, and everything else, those are just details. We don't have to worry about those. Next, we're taking our hands, putting them right on top of the knee. Then we're going to bring them in just a little bit. All right. From here, we're going to push the legs down a little bit. And that is how we're starting the stretch. When you push your legs down, they might go down, but your shoulders are also going back. So you might be feeling a little pressure in your head and in your shoulders. That is normal. Don't worry about that. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28. Now, as you breathe, as you exhale, I want you to see if you can push just a little bit harder and open up your hips just a little wider. All right. 27, 26, 25, 24. Exhale and push. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Last couple of seconds. Flex those glutes, flex your outer thigh muscles. See if you have a better understanding of which muscles you want. 8, 7, 6. With your hands on your knees, you might notice when your legs are pushing up instead of pulling down, and that might help you figure out which muscles we want. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our butterfly stretch. You can let your hands go. Whew. If pushing on your legs this whole time has got your wrists a little bit tired, a little bit tender, feel free to do a little gentle movement, some wrist rotations, get some more blood flow into those hands. And next, I want you to flap the wings of your butterfly. If your legs are struggling to come up, struggling to move, feel free to grab your legs, give them a little shake, wake them up, and that should do it. That should help. Flap, 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 flap. All right, that is our second stretch. We're going to move on into our third stretch. It is called the standing pancake, and it is quite possibly the hardest stretch of our whole entire show. So we'll take it nice and slow, and you can make it easier for yourself if you need to. All right? What we're going to do looks a little bit like this. We're going to fold our upper body into our lower body and go boom, except we're going to do it standing. So it looks a little bit more like this. With your legs wide open, but with no pain in the hips. If you're feeling pain, bring your legs back in just a little bit. All right. If you can get to something like 90 degrees, amazing. If you can't, and you're closer to like 60, totally fine. Cool. All right. From here, we're focusing on the belly button. We're going to focus on bringing that belly button down to the ground and folding forward. Whew. Here we are. This is our starting position. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. Whee! Boom. Right here. 90 degrees. If you're a little bit higher up, that's absolutely fine. All right. When we are here, our goal is to bring our heads in between our legs. All right.
depending on how tall you are, maybe this will or will not make sense. I got short legs and a long torso, relative proportion wise. So I think I would actually smash my head into the ground if I were to pull this off. Maybe almost, maybe not quite. But if you got really long legs, then you don't have that problem. Okay. So next, we are trying to bring our belly button down, trying to bring our chest down, trying to bring our belly button down, trying to bring our chest down. You can even grab onto your heels, your ankles to give yourself a little bit of a pull. Try to keep your back relatively straight when you do that, because you'll be tempted to just turn yourself into a banana, and that is not the same thing. All right, that's basically it. That's the standing pancake. If you're new to the show, just get comfortable today. You don't have to push yourself super hard. If you are regular, then let's try to get a little bit deeper. All right. From here, we want to get into a situation where our upper body is as close to horizontal as possible. If you're really flexible and you're really like crazy deep in an angle, like so, and you're really close to the floor, and you're like, the floor is a little too close, you can stick your butt back a little bit. You can stick your arms up to counterbalance, and that will help get you into a nice deep stretch. Cool? If at any time you're like, this is too much, I can't handle it, feel free to bring your arms back. Feel free to lean a little bit more forward. Feel free to just focus on bringing your belly button down. Feel free to grab your ankles and give yourself a nice little pull forward. All right? That is all the instruction I think I got for you, except for you can widen your stance as wide as you want. All right, the wider you go, the more stressful it will be for your inner thigh muscles, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, pick your position, bring the belly button down, and let's begin. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Oh, we're done. That's it. That's the whole thing. Oh, if your inner thighs are feeling weak right now and they don't want to move, that is absolutely normal and that's okay. I recommend you slowly wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, 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 wiggle your toes and heels and heels and heels and toes and heels and toes and heels. I said a whole bunch of stuff that, as I'm thinking about it, might be a little bit conflicting. I said at the beginning that if you get to just 60 degrees, that's great. If you get to 90 degrees, awesome. And then at the end, I was like, go as far as you can. That is completely dependent on what you're capable of. All right. If you're at the point in your journey where you're at 60 degrees, that's fine. This is perfectly good to get us started. And if you have been doing this with me live for like the last 500 days and you slowly develop more flexibility, then I don't want you to be at 60 degrees. I want you to push to see where you can handle it. And if you've done enough reps, you know what's painful, you know what's uncomfortable, you know what's too much, you know what's not enough, and you can take your time, get a little bit deeper. All right. So, if ever you feel like there's like a depth issue with my instruction, usually it's because I'm trying to be inclusive of everybody who's on the live, including the people who are starting brand new and the people who are regulars who've been with me for a long time. All right. Whew, that was our third stretch, the standing pancake. I said this earlier, I think it is the hardest stretch in our entire show because it puts a lot of strain on two different muscles. One is the hamstring stretch, folding forward, right? The other is this inner thigh, and you're going to feel it more and more and more and more the deeper you get into that position. If you were stuck at 60-ish degrees, you might not have felt it nearly as much, but if you were a little bit deeper, might have been feeling a little crazy because I was telling you stuff, you were hanging out here, those muscles were contracting, but they were also getting stretched, and you were just suffering for a long time, right? This has pros and it has cons. The cons are you're really tired and your legs don't want to work. The pro is those muscles are getting trained, they get a little bit stronger, and as they get stronger, your brain will start to go, okay, fine, I get it. I see that you can kind of do this thing. Maybe I'll give you a little bit more range of motion, and I'll let you get a little bit deeper. So Weird storytelling voice aside, the stronger these muscles are, the easier it will be for your body to allow you to get into deeper positions. All right, that's the third stretch, standing pancake. We're going to move on into stretch number 4. Stretch number 4 has 2 options. They basically have the same principles. One is the figure 4 stretch that look, actually, they all look the same. So I just talk about how they all look the same. Bring the leg in to the ankle and bring the ankle up to the belly button and fold the belly button down to the ankle. That's basically the figure 4 stretch, except you do this laying on your back. The other alternative is the pigeon stretch. And the difference is that you basically come down onto the floor and you're letting gravity pull your chest down into that pigeon. Boom. All right? Those are your 2 options. If you are a regular, you know exactly what you like. Go ahead and start with that one. I'm pretty sure last night we did the pigeon, so today we are doing some figure 4. Yes, last night we definitely did pigeon, so we're doing some figure 4. For our figure 4 peoples, feel free to copy. The figure 4 has us lying down. If you don't like lying down, you can go back to the pigeon, I guess. But otherwise, if you don't know what either of those look like, I guess you have no choice. This is the figure 4. We are taking one leg, we're crossing it over to the other knee. We are going to stick our arms through the triangle we just made and around the other leg, and we're going to pull that leg in towards our chest. All right? So it looks a little bit like this. But just a little pull isn't enough for us. We want a little bit more pull. So on the next inhale, exhale. I want you to pull a little bit deeper. All right. Let's do 1 or 2 of these. And inhale. Exhale. Pull, 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 pull. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Pull, 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 pull. It doesn't have to be a quick, jerky pull. You can take it nice and slow. Just bring your leg in a little closer to your chest. All right. Once you have done your best here, it's time to start. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. For your back, I'd like to have you keep this fairly neutral. Your low back, your shoulders, your back of your head should be resting against the ground. You'll be very tempted to curl into a little ball as you stick your face into your legs. You don't have to work that hard. Just use your arms to pull your legs to your chest. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. If you're feeling a lot of pressure on the knee, by the way, feel free to cup the knee with one hand and pull a little bit on that knee directly. And that should make the pressure on the knee a little bit more not awful. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. When I say things like not awful, usually I'm just exaggerating and trying to make it sound a little less technical and a little bit more entertaining and relatable. But if you are actually feeling awful, that is a good sign to not continue. If it just feels mildly uncomfortable, that's probably just stretching. All right, let's go. We gotta do the other side. Cross the leg over to the other side. Stick the arm through the triangle you just made around the other leg, and let's get ready to pull that leg in. You might notice on different legs you have a different amount of flexibility in the hip, the knee. You need a little bit of flexibility in both places to get into this position comfortably. And you might notice this time your ankle is pushed a little bit further away, or maybe it's pushed a little bit closer than the previous time. And that is normal. That's okay. Different legs are going to have different amounts of flexibility because you do slightly different things on each leg. Maybe you always jump off your right leg. Maybe you always take that first couple of steps off your right leg. And it's just going to behave differently. All right? Oh, breathe. Oh, breathe. When I say pull and breathe, I really mean it. Take a big exhale and pull that leg in. For me, it seems to make a difference. I don't know if it's psychological or if the exhale actually just gives me a lot more depth into that pull. But you should try it, and if it helps, do the more dramatic one. Inhale, Exhale, and pull. All right, 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Again, give that knee a little love. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Don't get tired. The whole stretch is dependent on how hard you're pulling on your leg, all right? 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. The figure four is really nice because you get a little fine tuning. If you want to push a little harder on your knee, if you want to push a little harder on your ankle, if you want to hug something a little bit more specifically, it is a lot easier in the figure four. The pigeon is a little bit more intense because you fold your chest down towards your leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Oh, let those legs drop. That is our fourth stretch. We're doing 5 in total, and it's time to move on into our side splits. If you are just joining in, you might only be learning right now that we're doing a hip mobility and side splits show, and we do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make the suffering that we do a little bit more fun. So if you like that, you like hip mobility, you like side splits, you like consistency, hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. This is our 9 a.m. show. 9 a.m. shows are on the weekends, so you start your day with a little mobility, a little flexibility. But the normal show, the Monday through Sunday live, is at 9 p.m. All right, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And for the people who aren't in Eastern time zone, that was 53 minutes ago when we started. On the weekends, especially in the mornings, I try to explain a little bit more, have a little bit more fun with the stretches, so that you're a little bit more entertained. So the morning shows definitely run on the longer side. The evening shows, I'm trying to whittle it down. It's about an hour-ish of actual exercise now, and I do Q&A at the end for like 20 something minutes afterwards. All right. Whew. It's time to get into some side splits. First thing I want you to do is actually not to spread your legs and try and drop into a side split. The first thing I want you to do is rest your butt against the wall. All right? And then I want you to take one step in front of that wall so that if you start falling backwards, you got something to rest your butt on. Whee! Boom. All right. And if you're only one step away from the wall, it should be easy enough for you to do a little hip thrust. Boom! Come back into your side splits. All right. Next, once you got that locked down, we are going to start getting to a little deeper of a position. What I want you to do is get wide and drop low. If you're starting to feel a pinching pain here in the hips, you've gone too far, you can stop right there and you can bring your legs back in just a little bit. You can play around, you can wiggle your toes back and forth, pull your legs in, and when you're ready, when you found a new comfortable spot, we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down into the ground. Fold, 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 fold some more. Fold! And see if you can put your hands down on the ground. All right? This is our starting position, but you don't have to actually put your hands on the ground. You can elevate your hands. You can elevate with a stool. You can elevate with yoga blocks. You can elevate with textbooks. You can elevate with a chair. You can elevate somewhere in the middle with a coffee table. Those are all cool. Just want to be able to lean into it and preferably have it be small and light enough that you can adjust. All right. From here, we're going to do the most important thing in this entire show. We're going to rotate our thigh bone so that it does not smash into our hip bones ever again. And I mean, not ever again, but like for the rest of the stretch. From here, we're going to make sure our knees and our feet rotate backwards 90 degrees. Right now, our knees are pointed forwards, our toes are pointed forwards, our feet are flat on the ground. What we want to do is rotate the leg 90 degrees so the knee is pointing up and the toes are pointing up. And it looks a little bit like this. You can feel free to put your hands down for support when you do this. Boom! Knees up, toes up, heels down. But we can't just do one side, we gotta do both sides because you got two hips or two legs, two thigh bones rotating in their hip socket, right? Next, boom, heels down, toes up, knees up. Now we are in our side split position. You might be a little bit higher up in it. That's fine. All that's holding you back right now is your leg muscles. And what we're gonna do next is drop a little bit deeper into the stretch. If you're new to the show and you're ready to call it right here, this is fine. You're good. Feel free to pause. Feel free to stop. Feel free to just hang out at this height. Breathe. Chill. But if you're a regular, let's get a little deeper. Do a little wiggle to the left. Do a little wiggle to the right. Lean, 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 and if you don't need the stool, you don't need the tools, go ahead and get rid of them. If you need them, keep using them. I want you to try to rest your butt against the wall, get a little bit of support, get a little bit lower to the ground, and if your knees are pointing up and the top of your head is pointing up and you're kind of sitting back against the wall, that is a really good chance you're still holding your side split, and you can start relaxing some muscles. Your toes, your feet, your calves, try your best to relax them. Your hamstrings, if they will relax, relax them. All the other muscles in your body, try your best to relax them. Breathe, inhale. Obnoxiously loud exhale. And see if you can drop a little bit deeper. All right? Whew. Keep on breathing. And that is our first stretch. Hang out here for a little bit. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. If right now you have only tried these with your arms completely locked out, your elbows straight, try to give your elbows a little bend and see if suddenly there's a whole bunch more weight in your legs and that helps you get a little bit deeper. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Try your best to walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in underneath you. And that is our first side split stretch. Again, you don't have to have gotten, that's some weird tense. You don't have to be as deep as I was demonstrating. This show is very welcoming to everybody at all levels of skill. I've been doing this live or some version of it for 500 days, and I have gotten a lot deeper. And to make this show effective for me in my stretching so that I can practice consistency alongside you guys, I am, doing the version of the stretch that is most impactful for me. Whew. But hopefully, along the way, I gave you enough information, enough tips for you to get to a position that works for you, and you can hang out there. All right? Where are we going with this? We're going to get up. We're going to shake out our legs, because right now our legs are completely stuck, and we want them to be loose, right? When we stretch, the goal is for the muscles to be loose so that they can get into their lengthened positions so we can sit into cool positions and look badass doing it, all right? So, we're going to shake out the tension. We're going to reduce as much tension out of our legs as possible. And the first thing we got to do is stand up. Oh. Whew. If you're wobbling a little bit like a drunk penguin, that's okay. It's fine. We're going to slowly lift that ankle. We're going to slowly shake it out. All right? Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. The goal of this is to have your ankle start going whatever it wants when you start shaking out your leg, right? Not just forward and back, from side to side, in circles. And we're not doing this with muscle control. We're not flexing our foot. We're not pointing our toe. We're not purposefully doing ankle circles. We're just shaking out the leg and letting it do this little limp noodle thing and flop all over the place, all right? The reason why this is important is because all the muscles that I showed you being used to control the ankle have to be relaxed in order for your ankle to be flopping around going crazy. All right? And that's what we want. We want those muscles to be relaxed. As you practice this, as you train this, you will learn how to relax those muscles faster and faster and faster. You'll just stand up and do one shake and be like, oh, I'm good. But it'll take a little bit of time to get there. So let's go ahead and start with the other ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. If this is your first time on the show, feel free to start nice and slow, nice and easy, and work your way into it. And now come back into standing, do a little bit of a knee bend, and see if your legs feel a little bit better, a little less like a drunk penguin. Next, we're going to move up into the hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, and I want you to put the big toe of the other leg down on the ground. I want you to focus on rotating at the hip. All right. Right now, nothing is moving aside from this thigh bone where it connects into that hip socket. All right. We're using muscles on the inside of the leg, on the outside, in that hip to bring the knee in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. As you get stronger, as you get faster with it, you can start developing some new skills, like really fastly shaking out that leg so that the thigh bones, thigh muscles are doing crazy things. Your leg looks like it's made of jello, and you don't have to get there right now. If you don't have the muscle control or the speed for that movement yet, focus on bringing the knee in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And if you're developing the strength for the first time, feel free to take it slow. Really contract those glutes, contract those outer thigh muscles, open up your leg, contract the other direction, squeeze, bring the knee in, and take it at your own pace. As you get more comfortable with this, as you get stronger, as you get faster, you can start going a little bit faster. You can get loose, you can get chill, you can relax, and again, you can straighten out your legs so that you can start swinging your thighs around so that they're going all over the place. Whee! All right. Hopefully, with that, your legs should be a little bit more relaxed. Do a little dance, shake out the hips, and we're going to get into side split number 2. All right. Stand 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. Open up the legs nice and wide. Feel free to stop wherever you need to stop. If you're feeling hip pain right here, there's like a pinching sensation because your hip bone and your thigh bones are colliding into each other. Feel free to bring your legs back in. Actually, no, don't feel free. Bring your legs back in just a little bit and focus on bringing your belly button down into the ground. Boom. From here, put your hands down. Elevate them with something if you need a little bit of help, need a little bit of assistance, and open up those legs a little bit wider. All right. We're going to externally rotate the legs, which means the knees are going to stop pointing forward and they're going to start pointing up. All right. Let's go. Boom. Knee up, toe up, heel down. Other side. Boom. Knee up, toe up, heel down. Once you're here, we are in our side split position. If you're feeling relaxed, you might be able to just drift into a deeper position just by inhaling and exhaling and trying to relax your muscles. If you're not that relaxed, that's okay too. You can add a little bit of a lean to the left, a little bit of a lean to the right. Try to push your legs out while you lean and see if you can get a little bit deeper. Feel free to get back into that position we were just in for the previous one, where you walk your hands back towards your hips and you rest your hips, rest your butt against the wall for a little bit of support, just to make it easier on yourself. From here, relax the toes, relax the ankles, relax the calves, relax the hamstrings, relax the glutes, relax the low back. Inhale, exhale, sink into that stretch. Whew. Again, inhale, exhale, sink a little bit into that stretch. This time, we're going to do a slightly different variation of this stretch. Instead of sitting on our butts with our back straight up into the sky, we're going to walk our hands forward until it feels like we're about to do a push-up. All right, your shoulders are right above your hands, and when you do this, your legs should have followed you and rotated. So now your knees, instead of pointing up or pointing forward, they're kind of pointing at a diagonal up into the sky. When you are in this position, you're going to feel more of a stretch here in the inner thighs. These are called the adductor muscles, and we need them for side splits, so that's why we're in this position. Feel free to do a little wiggle to the left, wiggle to the right, get a little bit more depth, and we're holding this for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. This is static, passive stretching, so we're just chilling and waiting it out here at 25, 24, 23. But if you are a regular on this show and you want to add in some more intense variations to your stretching, you want to add in some PNF, and you know how, go ahead. We got plenty of time that we're stuck in this position. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. That is our stretch. Walk your hands forward. Oh, bring your legs in underneath you. Oh, take it nice and slow. And we are done. Recital number 2. Take a second. Compose yourself. That was intense. Especially if these are muscles you haven't really used before, position you haven't ever really gotten into. And we're ready to come on up, back into standing, and shake out some tension. Let's go. Come on back up. Woo. Shake out those ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Put that leg down. Shake the other one. Shake, 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 shake. Test yourself. Does moving feel a little bit smoother? If it doesn't, not quite yet, shake some more. Shake, 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 shake. Shake the other side. Shake, 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 shake. And if you're feeling a little bit better, we're gonna move on into our hips. Next, all your weight is in one leg. Big toe of the other leg is down on the ground with a knee bent. In, out, 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 in, out. Pick up the pace if you can and treat it more as a loose shake than just muscle building. If you don't have the muscles yet to really move the leg well, focus on muscle building. But for most people, once you've figured out the technique, you can start just focusing on relaxing. All right? Shake, 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 shake. Shake some more, shake again, shake again, shake again, and keep shaking. Your hips should feel a little bit more relaxed, and you should feel a little bit looser. All right? That is shaky, shaky round 2. That means we're getting to side split number 3. Let's go. Stand each 12 inches in front of the wall. Boom. One step. Open up those legs. Go as wide as you can before your hips feel uncomfortable, before that pinching pain starts. And if it does start, bring your legs back in just a little bit. From here, we're folding. We're bringing the belly button down into the ground. Feel free to elevate your hands if you need it or want it. Get a little bit deeper into the stretch now, because you're warmed up and now you can slide a little bit deeper. And also because when you have all of your weight on your heels, sliding out gets a little less comfortable. So if you do it now while your feet are flat on the ground, it'll be a little bit more comfortable. All right? Next, we're going to externally rotate our legs so that the knees, instead of pointing forward, start pointing straight up into the air. And I'm going to scoot back so that my legs are visible on camera. Boom! Heels down, toes up, knees up. Heels down, toes up, knees up. And we are sitting into that stretch. Breathe. Relax. Oh. What's crazy is I can tell how much the relaxing after each stretch helps, because I can just breathe and slowly drop deeper into the stretch. The first time around, I'm not holding back. I'm really trying to get as deep as I can get. And that first breath, I don't go anywhere. I go, okay, that's it. But after the relaxation, I can slowly drift into deeper positions, and it's awesome. Feels cool. Anyways, it feels like I'm making progress every day, even though I'm basically doing the same thing every day. Let's go. Once you are here and you're resting your butt against the wall, you can decide what you want to do. You can stay here with this version, the upright version, where you're feeling more of a hamstring stretch. You can walk your hands forward and feel the adductor stretch, the inner thigh stretch. And we're going to start in just a second. Relax the toes, relax the feet, relax the calves, relax the, what else we got? Hamstrings, if they'll relax your glutes, relax your low back. Breathe. And one more inhale, exhale. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. 21, 20. Feel free to add a little wiggle from side to side whenever you feel like it. See if you can get a little bit more out of that stretch. 18, 17, but of course you don't have to. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, that's it. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. It is one of those crazy things where, as you do more of these stretches, it's easier to get into a deeper side split, but it gets harder and harder to get out of one. Oh man, okay, that is a third and final side split. We've done the meat of the workout. It's time to shake it out one last time, do a little bit of a joint check, make sure everything is moving smoothly, and then we will be done and ready for some Q&A. All right, come on back into standing. Ooh. And shake out those legs. Shake, 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 shake. Again, we're starting nice and gentle on that ankle. Shake, 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 shake. Other side, shake, 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 shake some more, shake, 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 shake. As you get more and more comfortable with this, you can shake a little faster, shake a little crazier, and you don't have to go hard. It's completely optional. All right, you can start gentle, you can start nice, and you can build up the tolerance for the crazy ankle shake, however fast you build it up. From here, again, this is all about relaxation, right? If your ankles are flopping all over the place, all the muscles that help control that ankle, that let it do things, are going to be relatively relaxed as well. And that's what we want, just relaxation, so that you can control your muscles a little better. You can go back to whatever you were doing before this. All right. Next, we're going to do a couple of quick knee bends. Just double check everything feels good in the ankles. Whew. And we're going to move up into our hips. All your weight is in one leg. Big toe, the other leg is down, knee is slightly bent. We'll bring the knee in, out, 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 in, out. Go a little faster if you can. Do a little shake, turn to a dance. Do some stanky leg. Have fun with it. We're building hip mobility. You should put it to use. Other side. All your weight is one leg, big toe is down, in, out, 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 in, out. Stanky leg, stanky leg, stanky leg. And hopefully your hips are feeling a little bit looser. Feel free to do the more advanced version where you stick the leg straight out. All of your weight is in one leg, and you just really aggressively shake in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, until your thigh flesh feels like it's made of jello and it's just going flopping all over the place. That is a good sign. Your thigh muscles and a whole bunch of other muscles in your leg are super relaxed. So do the other side. All your weight is one leg, big toe is down. Shake, 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 shake. Again, all this is about relaxation. You're just moving as fast as necessary to have your legs go blah, 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 and not because we're going, oh, I'm so fast and I'm a robot. That's not the point. All right. Whew. Hopefully, your legs are feeling a little looser, and we are ready to wrap it up and get into some joint checks. For the joint checks, what I want you to do is basically really slow hip circles. Lean into those hips. Feel that low back. Keep on leaning into that hip. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Lean back. Feel the hip flexors in the front. And keep going. Just do a couple rounds. If anything feels particularly tight, pause, spend some time on it. The left and right side of my hip tends to feel a little bit of tension after the side splits. So I like that. Oh, spend a little bit of time chilling, waiting on those. If you have a tight low back, as most of us do, feel free to do a little wiggle. Wiggle your butt around from side to side and get some movement here in the spine. All right? And I don't know, if you have tension here, it always helps to push your hips out a little bit. Relax, chill. Whoo! Once you're feeling a little bit better in that slow hip circle, we're going to move on and do some high knees. You only have to do one on each side. If your knee is lifting, we're good to move on. Next, legs together. We're going to pop into a little bit of a squat. What I want you to focus on is bringing your chest down to your knees. All right? When you do this, your head weight is going to be pushing that away. Next, I want you to push your knees forward a little bit. Now, a whole bunch of your body weight is pushing that away. What happens when that happens is your toes should be working real hard to keep you from falling forward. All right, they should be working, they should be activating, they should be gripping the floor, and the arch of your feet should also be supporting to help you work the floor. From here, you're feeling that nice Achilles tendon stretch. Your calves are straining pretty hard. You can poke them to double check, and your quads are probably complaining a little bit, so we can move on. Stick your hands down on the ground if you need the support, and try your best to do a calf raise. I'm going to do them facing you so you can see that we're trying to lift the ankle straight up, and we're trying to get the weight to balance between our index toe and our big toe. All right? You don't need to use your hands if you don't want to. You can put it out to the side for balance. You can put them down for support, and you can do as many as you want. Once you've done a couple of those, we have proven to ourselves that our toes, our feet, our ankles, our calves, our knees, our quads, our hips, our low backs, all those things could work well together and help you do some crazy moves, right? That is a good sign that you're ready to go back to whatever else you have to do today. Cool? That is our live. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on some hip mobility and side splits with me today. It is Saturday morning, and it is 10:17. That means this live has been running for about 77 minutes. We started an hour and 17 minutes ago. We're going to start the same time tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is an hour, I guess, an hour and 18 minutes ago now. So feel free to pop back in for a little bit more side splits and hip mobility stuff to start your day. This live, or a version of it, is every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, so Monday through Sunday, there's an evening version of this show, and you are welcome to come back and hang out. Because at the end of the day, this show is all about practicing consistency. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow it, it's not the best plan for you. And if you need a little bit of help, a little bit of support to practice a little bit more consistency, hopefully in your hip mobility and in your side splits, then this is where you should be. Make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, and I will see you guys soon. The side splits and this hip mobility live thing is not the only content that I make. In fact, I pretty much only make side splits related content in this live. The rest of the content that I make is more related to thoughtful ways of incorporating a little bit of fitness into the quick, tiny, itty bitty moments in your life where you're just like, I could scroll on my phone, or I could do something else for 2 minutes. I hope to inspire you to do a little bit else, a little bit of something else in those 2 minutes. So whether you're waiting for your microwave to finish up warming up your lunch, whether you're waiting for coffee to be made, or ramen to be boiled, consider checking out some of my other content where we do 2 minute tiny little workouts to fill in that little bit of dead time when you're just chilling in the kitchen. All right. If you like that type of stuff, that is the majority of my content. But there is a third component that is mostly on YouTube, actually, at the moment. The YouTube account is youtube.com/@splits on the side. So the same username as on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. And this thing that I also do is calisthenics skills tutorials. I am trying to rebuild my own strength, and I'm trying to do cool things. So I am getting back into calisthenics, and one of the things I'm doing is trying to break down those skills and hopefully make some tutorials for you guys. All right. We got 3 up so far: the frog stand, the crow pose, and the elbow lever. And I will demonstrate them in reverse coolness order, I think. The crow pose looks a little bit like this. You stick your hands on the ground, you bend your knees forward, and you can do cool things like a handstand from that position as you get comfortable with it. It looks like this, right? We're balancing with our hips real high up. And it's really good for setting up your balance, setting up your finger and wrist control so that you can get into things like handstands soon after. What else? We got elbow lever. The elbow lever basically looks like a plank that you're doing on your elbows. And you can use your muscles and use your back muscles to lift and drop, do one leg things, do 2 leg things, kick and swim. And that is another skill. Then finally, we got the little sibling to all of the three, I guess, to all two. And it is called the frog stand. It looks just like the crow pose from the side if you're not sure what you're looking for. But instead of resting your elbows on your knees for the crow pose, we stick our elbows into what I call your knee bow. Stick your elbows in between sort of the little butt cheek that is formed between your thigh and your calves, right at the tippity top. And then you lean right on into it, and boom, you're balanced. You're hanging off the floor, and you're doing your little seesaw thing. All right? Because your legs are off to the side, your hips are much lower to the ground, and it's much easier to balance. Those are some skills. I got tutorials for them. Most of them are like 4 or 5 minutes long. And if you got questions about it, you can come back into live and just ask me, because I'm here and I would love to know what you're struggling with so I can understand and make better tutorials in the future. So I'd appreciate it if you checked it out and came back and asked me questions. All right. Plus, I can answer them live. So that that will be cool too. All right. That's enough of my pitching. I'm going to look at Q&A and look at the chat. I'm going to scroll to the very tippity top of what I can see over on TikTok. It, again, seems limited today. P Diddy 2849 username says hi. Hello. Okay. And that was on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see what else we got. Over on Tiggity Toggity, we are looking at T-Bone sending awesome emojis of me frustrated and doing funny things. And a bunch more emojis. Thank you, T-Bone. And what else we got? T-Bone sending more emojis. Oh, wow. You found the emojis, you really like them. That's awesome. I'm glad you like them. Domi says, it's true that it feels more intense in one leg and lighter in the other. That is going to be the case for a lot of leg stretches, right? For your hamstring stretches, it might feel that way. For your pigeon, it might feel that way. Even for your side splits, it might feel that way. You might have one adductor that's more flexible than the other. For the for the butterfly, one leg might go down a little bit faster than the other. That is totally normal, and it is entirely dependent on probably how you live your normal life, right? Um, for example, if you had to hop on one leg, you probably only hop on one leg, right? Those little tiny minute differences in the choices that you make in your daily life, because it's your strong leg, or it's the leg that you have better balance on, wherever it is, just make it so that it's going to continue being the strong leg. It's going to continue being the more balanced leg. If you do a sport that requires legs to do different things, if you, for example, skateboard in a certain style, like goofy or normal, then you have one leg that does all the kicking for the most part, right? And then both legs kind of contribute together to do the technical stuff, to make the board flip and cool stuff. I don't actually know that much about skateboarding, so I'm just kind of making stuff up now. But one leg is doing the majority of the kicking, right? So that's going to build up a whole bunch of different strength, and that's going to make your legs a little bit different, a little bit uneven. If you drive stick shift, which I think this is a U.S. audience focused show. I think it's like 95% U.S. audience, so there might not be very many of you who drive stick. But your left leg might be a lot stronger from pushing in the clutch if you have that going on your left leg, right? Those little things in daily life completely change how your muscles like build, how your movement is impacted, and that's normal. But when you're conscious of it, if you're aware of it, and you recognize that being symmetrical and perfectly the same on either side of your body is just a fantasy, imagination, then you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I probably have to do a little bit more for this side, a little bit less for this side, and that happens at all levels. Athletes have this all the time, and you'll see it when they favor a particular leg, especially after they like have an injury. They mess up an ankle or something. They're gonna baby one leg over the other, and some things will just get more and more lopsided. And oftentimes that lopsidedness just keeps on piling on, and it gets into worse and worse situations. I don't know that that's always the case, but it could. Apple user 235274 says, do you do ballet? I do not do ballet, but I did do a little bit of dance in high school. 15, 16 years ago. And my dance teacher did do ballet, so there was always a ballet component. Um, that was why, and that was when I was like, I really want to be able to do side splits, because there's some girls in the class that were doing some crazy moves. They're doing like full side split, and they're just rotating a hip, and then the leg would rotate, and then they'd be like in a different split, and then they'd rotate again, and they'd be in another split. And I was like, what the heck? This is crazy. Your legs can do that. Um, and then lo and behold, for 15 years, I started and stopped and started and stopped working on side splits. Usually the training would last like a week, and then I'd stop for like 6 months. So I never really made any progress. But I really wanted them for a long time. And about a year ago, I was like, this is ridiculous. I need to sit down and be serious about this and just get it done. And that is how the Consistency Live, this show, began. It was mostly a way for me to stay consistent, for me to invite some, randos on the internet to join, so that I felt like I had to keep showing up for you guys. And now it has turned into a much bigger live. It's been quiet this week. I think it's because I'm having slightly funky internet difficulties, and it's been a little bit slow. But last weekend and the weekend before, we were getting like 16,000 people dropping in for a moment. Most of those don't count, right? They just scroll right away. But we had multiple moments where there's like 300 plus people watching the live, and it's growing. Is things are happening. Things are cool. Cool. All right. Yo Milo 32 over on YouTube says, Milo here in Utah. Very tight calves, both sides, that hurt feet around arch and heel. Mimics plantar fasciitis. Love your videos. Awesome. Thank you, Milo. Do I have any specific information that'd be useful for you? I don't think I do, but I appreciate that you're watching the rest of my videos and incorporating them. Hopefully that helps your calves get into better movement patterns. Very tight calves, both sides, that hurt feet around the arch and heel. Calf tightness can be a combination of things, right? It could be that they need stretching. It could be that they also need to be strengthened quite a bit. It could be that you have weak calves, and so they're always tight all the time and trying their best to survive. And that tightness is impacting other things around your leg. It could be that you have incredibly strong calves, and maybe the arch of your foot and your heel is relatively weak in comparison, and that is pulling. So maybe you want to work on strengthening your arch and your heel. I can't tell you the answer because I don't know any more than that. But good luck. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Oh, looks pretty quiet. We might be done. Domi sends a smiley face. Awesome. Bebe sends lots of applause and hand emojis. Domi sends good vibes. Bebe says thank you. And Domi says one day I hope so. Good. Good. Bolilo asks, do I have a martial arts background? No, I don't. I did a little bit of parkour. I wrestled for a year and a half, and then I got a big concussion and stopped that. And then I did a couple years of dance in like a high school class. So that was like, I don't know, an hour and a half every week-ish, an hour every week. But, it's a high school class. So like you spend like 10 minutes changing and 10 minutes like getting everybody orderly. And then you have a little bit of dance in between. That might have happened for 2.5 years after the concussion. And that is basically the majority of my, specialized sport movement stuff. Yeah. All right. There are still 18 of you left on TikTok and 5 over on YouTube. I don't have anything else to add other than you should check out some of my other videos. And you should also subscribe and you should follow if you've liked the live so far. Again, we do 45 to 60 minutes, usually much closer to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. So if you need side split stretching and hip mobility work, we're here doing it every day, practicing a bunch of consistency. We're live every day at 9 p.m. The show is designed that for most people, once you get over that like first phase of soreness, because you have to figure out what your body is doing, it should be very doable. every single day, or at least a couple times, several times a week. I've been doing this every day for a really, really long time now, and I'm always a tiny little bit sore, but I also do the show. How many times is it? 9 times a week. So for most people, I think once you get over that first hurdle of soreness, you'll be fine to do a lot of reps. Not that you have to, but if your goal is to get consistent and stay consistent, that's what the show is designed for. To have a place somewhere on the internet, somewhere accessible by phone or computer or tablet or whatever it is that you watch your social media on, to have a little bit of help practice consistency. Cool. Trey says, see you later. See you later, Trey. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And we are about an hour and a half deep into the live. So it's time to wrap up. Check out the other videos that I make. Hit follow, hit subscribe. They'll just come to you naturally as you scroll. And if you want to learn some cool new beginner skills or figure out if you can do them, a lot of them are easier than you would think. All right. A lot of the frog stand, the hand balancing, where you stick your elbow into the butt crack of your knee, that doesn't require that much strength. Most of it is your arm is going straight up into the air, and so the bones are handling all your weight. All you have to figure out is balance, so it's leaning forward and back. If you have a pillow in front of your head, it should be nice and chill because you have a pillow in front of your head. So give those a try, and if you got questions, come back to tomorrow's live or tonight's live, because we have a regular 9 p.m. live tonight, and ask away. I will do my best to answer them, and if I learn something that I should have, or I learned about something that I probably should have talked about in the video, I'll remake the video and make it better. Cool? All right, that's it. Go have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, and I will see you guys in a little bit, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, and tomorrow morning.